How's it going, everyone? Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. So right now I'm going to sell the biggest argument of 2020 so far. This is an argument I've been having with a friend of mine who owns this gun. This is a Regent, R350CR 1911, built by Regent Arms. This is a budget 1911 like the Rock Island, which we already reviewed. So we've been having an argument of which is better, the highly established Regent Arms 1911 pistol, R350C, or the Rock Island Tactical 1911. Now, this one is a commander size, which means the full size has a 5-inch barrel. I think this has a 4.5 inch. It's much smaller. But this does have these nice skeletonized trigger, skeletonized hammer. It's on half cock right now. This is also totally empty. Nothing in it. So it has a skeletonized trigger. It has the beaver tail, has the ambidextrous safety, and it has the upgraded sights. This gun, unlike the Rock Island that I have, has this rail at the bottom where you can mount a laser or a flashlight or something of that nature. Actually has a pretty aggressive grip safety that sticks out a lot more than the other ones. Flat mainspring housing, nice rubber grips, pretty decent serrations. I don't think they're as good as some of the other versions out there, but they'll work. Don't bite as hard, but branding isn't super in your face on this gun, which is nice because if you have a budget 1911, a lot of times people don't want super huge branding that's apparent. This is stamped into it. Can't really see it too good, which is fine. So anyway, comparison with the Rock Island. The Rock Island is, for lack of a better term, pretty much an exact copy of a regular 1911. I forget which series of the Colts, or the 70s or 80s, I can't remember, but they take pretty much the best features from all those series into one gun, and that's kind of the one they offer. So this one is the more like a tactical version with all those things I was talking about, and it's a shorter barrel. So anyway, I mean, it seems to be made pretty decent. I mean, it's not maybe as tight as something like a SR 1911 or a higher dollar one. Obviously, this is budget. This is around $350 at the time it was new. The Rock Islands were between $400 and like $450. So this thing, and if you get up close to it, which we'll show you in a second, it pretty much looks like a 1911, but it feels a little bit more updated. The finish is a little bit shinier than the Rock Island ones. The Rock Island are just Cerakoted, the basic ones that no shine at all. This has a little bit, not a shine, but looks like a satin. It just looks deeper of a color. Anyway, and I do like on this gun how they do paint a little white dot for the front sight. The Rock Islands don't, the cheap ones don't do that. Makes it much easier to aim down the sights on this one. So there's one main difference. Also, this magazines for these guns are apparently Italian made. They hold 7 rounds. There's one main difference, and that's the way you take the gun apart. Most people know that you remove the barrel bushing, which we're going to show you here in a second. So first thing I'm going to do is jettison the magazine, which actually has a pretty stiff mag release. I can't press it with my index finger. That's very, very stiff, that mag release. And I will say that the safety is pretty rough, and it doesn't have a lot of movement either way. So you'll notice, remember, this is empty. There is no barrel bushing here. So how do you take this apart? How do you get that recoil spring out there? Well, I'll show you in a second. So most 1911s, there's a barrel bushing. You depress the recoil spring plunger, rotate the barrel bushing out of the way, and then you can take the slide stop out. On this one, you just virtually take the slide stop out. So we're going to align that notch with the notch on the slide stop. So that's pretty much how you do it. That's pretty quick. That's a pretty quick way to take apart a 1911. So could you argue that it's not a true 1911 because of that design, or is this perhaps a more ingenious design in this $350 1911? Did Regent Arms, excuse me, hit the nail on the head with this design? Should they be producing all the match quality 1911s? Should they be regarded as being higher than Rock Island? I don't really think so, but apparently there's some parties out there that do. So anyway, that's pretty nifty that you don't have to do that extra step. I mean, it came apart as quick as anything can really come apart. Now let's put it back together. I mean, the machining in this looks pretty much on the, you can see if we can get up close, there's the branding there on the slide. Not too in your face, which is cool. So anyway, you know, maybe you can call me a purist in a way, but not really liking that. But you know, it is actually a lot easier to take apart and put back together. And as I say that, I'll probably screw up putting this thing back in. Yeah, well, that's got to be down. No, it doesn't have to be down. Interesting. There we go. There we go. So that locking, or the locking lugs are in place. That's where that goes. You don't have to move everything around like on a normal one. So now it's just a matter of putting the slide back on. I just like to do it upside down. Except I don't have this aligned properly. Anyway, I like to do it upside down. You really can't see from my angle, but let's see here. But now I'm just basically lining this up with that little hole there and putting that in. Kind of odd that that's all you really do. Well, it doesn't want to go in apparently. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that's been lined up. That should just drop right in. Yes, it does. So, yeah, I mean, there's that little step you don't have to do. Getting that barrel bushing out. But other than that, it's the same procedure as putting it back, reassembly. Kind of reminds me of, you know, a lot, just basically your general, general polymer firearm, just the way that slide lock comes out. Actually, it looks like it wasn't in there all the way. Alright. There we go. There, now it's all the way in. Just didn't have to push all the way in. So anyway, that's the Regent. Now, as far as comparing this to the Rock Island that we have, I think the trigger in the Rock Island is a little bit better, a little bit crisper, although this trigger is not bad. You know exactly when it's going to break. I would say the Rock Island just a little bit crisper than this, but hey, there's both sub $400 guns. Rock Island did jam a couple times. I fixed that. Now this thing, there's an argument on whether this jammed or not. I recall it jamming a lot. My friend who owns it recalls it never jamming one time, but it definitely jammed a lot.
Bullshit.
In my experience. Anyway, We definitely should probably put more rounds through this and the other one. However, this one's being sold. So if you have access to the internet and you want a very outstanding example of 1911 technology, and you don't want to pay more than about $350, I think, possibly, maybe. This might be for you. This might be the gun for you. It comes with 2 magazines, each hold 7 rounds. Not too many rounds really through this thing, but it can be yours if you want. You just gotta check out probably the local listings in the Northeast Ohio area. You may find this for sale. So anyway, that's the review. That's the comparison. So if anyone's got one of these, you really don't have too bad of a piece of equipment, in my opinion. Little bit funky, but hey, it works. Well, thanks for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, we'll be posting some in the future, so appreciate you tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe. It will really help us out. Thanks.